Welcome back to Dunstan Kiwi Bred. We pick up where we left off at White Robe Lodge, where I spoke to Brian's son-in-law Wayne Stewart about the stud's current stallion roster. Wayne, we're profiling two of your stallions here today, starting with Raise the Flag. He topped the South Island yearling sale this year and he helped you defend your leading South Island vendor title. He doesn't just raise the flag, he really flies the flag for you, doesn't he? What opinion do you hold of the horse?
Yeah, no, we've got a big opinion of the horse. Just firstly his pedigree, and then on type. He's a lovely type of horse. He's lovely head on him and very correct horse. He suits a lot of our mares, especially South Island mares with, mares a bit slow maturing, a bit long in the back, and that he certainly tidies them up and gives them a lot more quality.
Let's talk about his pedigree. On paper it's a real head turner. He's by the great Sadler's Wells, out of a history-making broodmare, and a half-brother to champion sire Dan Silly, who stands at Juddmonte for £95,000. I mean, he sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, we were pinching ourselves actually when we managed to secure him. It was through Rick Wiley Bloodstock that he asked us about him, and he didn't have to ask us twice. And then I rang Teddy Grimthorpe, who was a racing manager for Juddmonte, and spoke to him about the horse, and he'd already known about us because he had spent some time with Tommy Smith years ago on a bit of an OE when Alibi and that were their horses that we'd bred and sold by No Bijou, so it all fitted together well. And he said to me when I rang him, he said he's not a big imposing type of horse, he's just a nice neat horse, and that's exactly what he is.
Confirmation-wise, he does stand 15-3 hands. Like you said, he's not a big horse, but he ticks all the boxes. Give us a rundown of how you see him physically.
Yeah, well, he's got a lovely head on him, lovely kind eye and good rein on him. Yeah, like you say, he stands 15-3 hands. He's quite short in the back, and probably if he's typical saddle as well, he's a bit lighter in the bone, but like as I said, with our mares, it's probably a good point because some of our mares can get a bit heavy and a bit slow maturing, but and he stamps that quality in his foals. He leaves all bays or browns or grey, no chestnuts, and they're good correct horses, and I think that's obviously proven in the sales ring already, with his like last Karaka sales and the select sale, he was leading sire on average. They averaged 80,000, and he had the leading filly sold for 147. So I think the proof's there that his stock are good types and the good saleable horses.
His first 4 seasons at stud, he covered over 440 mares. He's been very popular with the breeders. How far afield are the mares coming from?
Yeah, they're coming from all over New Zealand, really. Yeah, and all over. We've had a lot of mares from the North Island. When people read his pedigree page, that's where they look at his $4,000 service fee at this stage. It's great value when you can go to a horse with his relations like Dan Silly, Cacique and Champolise. He's just had his third crop, his 3-year-olds racing in Europe at the moment, and he's already had 6 stakes performers in a Group 1 placing, so looks like he's going to do the job also. So it's like I said, it's a phenomenal family. He's a half brother to 2 champion mares, Intercontinental and Banks Hill, and then now also Dan Silly is half brother, champion sire. So it's he sells himself really on page. Like Brian and I say, if he can pass those genes on from his family, well, we can't miss really, but that's all we hope for.
Also on your stallion roster, Wayne, you've got Gallant Guru, who's been doing a steady job for you since he arrived here in 2007. Has he performed to your expectations as a sire?
I think he's what we categorise as a good bread and butter sire, and he's leaving winners consistently, and his winners to runners strike rate's quite strong, and he's running over 50%. And he's left a couple of stakes winning fillies, and they include, she performed well last season as a 3-year-old, and Ortem Fire was South Island Filly of the Year 2 years before that. So yeah, and he's leaving winners consistently all over New Zealand and Australia, and yeah, it'd be nice to think that some more will go on a bit better, the best, a few better horses to come. But like his biggest book of mares he covered was 100, and they're 4-year-olds now, so he's still got quite a lot more horses to come on, and his numbers have dropped back a bit now, but yeah, he consistently leaves winners, and that's what the game's about.
He's in the top 5 leading sires by average at the South Island yearling sale, so there's a demand for Gallant Guru stock. Is he still well patronised by breeders?
Yeah, the last couple of years his numbers have dropped back a bit, but probably a bit to do with that would be Raise the Flag standing along beside him. You know, like there's a small pool of mares in the South Island, you know, if that's where you're pulling from. Like a lot of our breeders have bred to them 2 or 3 times, and now they've moved to Raise the Flag perhaps, or they always got the option to come back, but they do sell well. He leaves a nice type of horse, and you know, they people like them. They're good temperaments, and like I say, they win races, so that's, you know, that sells them.
Gallant Guru is by Monsieur out of Proud Halo and stands for a fee of $4,000.
Yeah, we think he's well priced at 4,000. Like as said before, his yearlings and horse have averaged pretty well at the sales, normally 4 or 5 times the service fee, and you know he's producing stakes winners most seasons, and you know he's a well-bred horse, and in this environment, in this market, I think he's well priced.
Well, you must love this time of year, Wayne. The days are longer and warmer in this part of the world. You're getting some foals on the ground, but also a lot to look forward to with your spring racing.
Oh, definitely. Like, you know, like with all the size that we've, you know, ones that's passed, like Yaman and Vital, still got progeny racing, and with him, Who Shot the Barman's pretty exciting for us at the moment. You know, heading towards a Melbourne Cup, and being born and bred here and raised on the farm until he's a yearling. And then, you know, with Gallant Guru's progeny, like we're saying, his Include was a good filly last season, so hopefully she'll go on, and also some more new ones come up, and you know, and they keep on winning and producing. And then mainly, really, the big one for us is Raise the Flag, just seeing where we're at, you know, within the next 6 months. We hope in the autumn, once the classics come round, and from those mile to mile and a half races, that's when Raise the Flags will come into their own. That's what they're bred to do, and no, it's really exciting times. Really, this is this is what you get out of bed for every day, and you know, you always look forward with a new sire, and your other sires have stood here before, but no, you know, things are pretty positive around White Road Lodge at the moment.